at the caption, it reads that detectives removed some of the 18 bodies that were exhumed yesterday from a mass grave in Shakahola village in Kilifi County. 39 bodies have now been retrieved since the exercise started on Friday. The shocking deaths by starvation of members of a suspected cult continued to be unearthed yesterday, with 18 more bodies exhumed at Shakahola village in Kilifi County, even as the authorities finally acknowledged the scale of the atrocity as a massacre. And police now also suspect that some of the victims didn't fast to death but were killed before being buried. And as the search enters the fourth day today, the death toll can only go up. 15 is the number of grave sites police have identified on the 800-acre piece of land associated with Pastor Paul Mackenzie of the Good News International Church. And speaking strictly from a medical perspective, Dr. Dennis, how long would it take somebody to starve to death?
Thank you very much. It's been a really sad week just listening to what's been going on in Malindi. And beyond the medical aspect, just the pain of having to starve to death is something that I don't think that would wish on your worst enemy. But more tragic is that even children would not subscribe to that religion, don't make that choice, to pay that price. And the challenge is that where is the gap? Is it the security gap that don't pick up that? Or is it that there's something that is not right within how we run our affairs in the country? But to your question then is that by 7 days, if you've not had any food or water, you're already in trouble. Yeah, your body goes into dehydration mode. Yeah, and then when you don't have the fluid, then you start having what's called metabolic syndrome, where everything goes haywire. Yeah, so the longest that has been recorded of somebody who stayed without any water or food was, I think it was around 15 days. Yeah, but by the end of the fourth, fifth day already you are getting out of consciousness, sleeping out, and you're not able to do basically what a healthy person, a living person should be able to. So whatever happened in Malindi, I hope and pray that it will never happen. But then the tragic part of it in the rescue mission is that I've been seeing policemen and people digging, but I'm able to see a temporary hospital set up. There are beyond 0 trucks in the counties. I'm able to see the county team, the county medical team, because when you rescue somebody from their state, you want to put IV lines immediately, start running fluids immediately. But to carry them almost 50 kilometers to the nearest facility just shows you how broken down the health system is there. And you saw the locals yesterday in last news complaining that they have not even seen a single county official in that area. You know, almost 50 plus people dead and others still being found in the forest, and there's no system put in place to ensure that they are rescued and given drugs and fluids on site. Because how do you expect somebody who's not been eating like for 10 days plus? You want them to open, I saw people say that they refuse to open their mouths to feed. At this point, they're not even mentally in a state to think. They can't refuse. You fix a line, run fluids, not telling somebody is almost dying to open their mouth to eat or to drink water. They can't. Yeah. Okay.
You actually preempted my next question to Peterson, which was what is the first course of action in such a situation? So 7 days dry fast, that is without food and water, you're in a critical condition.
Yes, it is good.
All right. So Peterson, we've been told by Dr. Dennis here that first line course of action is fluids, an IV line.
Yeah, actually, because there's a person whose sugars are low. I think a basic search of hypoglycemia, you call it hypoglycemia, will show you that this person goes into confusion all the way to coma. They're also in dehydration, and probably they are heading into shock because they have lost enough water. So this is a person who is mentally clouded. If actually you are lucky enough to find them in a position they can actually be able to move, this is not a person you want to try and convince to take something. So you have to resuscitate, and the resuscitation includes you must be able to raise their sugars, you must be able to rehydrate them, to give them enough water that they have been able to lose. And it's only after you have probably resuscitated Now these people can be having the mental capacity to be able to engage you, and probably now you can be able to say they're either complying or they're not complying. But at that state, and I agree with my brother Miskellah, that I would say that the government is also negligent, because we expected to see, where is Red Cross? Where are all these organizations that deal with health rescue teams? These are the teams that you are expecting to see on the ground, together with, of course, the forensic experts, so that we also want to know, apart from the hunger and the starvation they are talking about, would there be something else? Because it is not normal for so many people to be probably brainwashed into starving to death. So we also want to know, is there something beyond the starvation? Is there probably something they are being given to confuse them?
And I'm curious, Collins, have you ever come across anything like that? And as you were speaking, I was looking up the Kenya Red Cross Twitter handle just to make sure they were not on site. But here I can see they are in Malindi. We have set up tracing and counseling desks at the Malindi Sub-County Hospital for the Shakahola response. So far, 112 people have been reported missing at the tracing desk. So they might not be at the ranch, not that I've seen, they might be, I don't know, this is what I can see, but they are within the vicinity. But Collins, have you ever witnessed something like this?
I want to start by saying that this is the effect of low investment in healthcare, because as you can see, there was an Abuja declaration that mandated countries to set aside 50% of their revenue to healthcare. But you can see that there is low investment in healthcare, there is no health facility within, and also the health workers are not even there, because the health workers are, the shortage of health workers across board. And also the government policies, like, you see, registering even a health facility in such an area is, first, there is poor security. Two, it is a monumental task to register a health facility and run one. But it is more easy to have a church operating in such an area. So I think the government has need to do more in terms of investment. I think they should invest more in, we should do more investment in health, unlike doing more investment and in religion. So I think it is something that we need to look at moving forward. But ideally, this is something that is beyond something that has gone so much.
Quite shocking,
yeah.
Quite shocking.